Hi everyone, Baker on the dark side. So today I have finally gotten all the ingredients we need to make the next family recipe that I picked out of the recipe box. The chicken spiral loaf. This is in my mom's handwriting. I don't remember this recipe. So, sometimes I wonder, if she just wrote things down and never made them. I think I've done that. I've got a lot of recipes in my electronic recipe box in Pinterest. But could have been one of those things that she tried and wanted to do and she never did, but we're gonna do it. Gonna do it for Mom. See how it goes. I just have one little disclaimer that I have no idea if this is gonna work. And that could be because of me or it could be because of the recipe. I have no idea. But so far things have been working out okay. All right, so here we go. The first, there's two parts to this. It is the filling and then a dough. So we're gonna do the filling first. So the filling states that it needs 3 hard-boiled eggs that have been sliced up. So there's my wonderful hard-boiled eggs. And I will tell you that I did these in a boiling pot like the old way because it worked perfectly. You saw my air fryer disaster. Yeah, no, perfect. Okay. Then we need 1 cup of diced cooked chicken. So I just salt and pepper, skinless, boneless chicken breast. There's that. 1 tablespoon of onion, minced up. 1 cup of celery. Okay, interesting. It's like a chicken salad. 1/4 cup of green pepper or red pepper. She didn't really specify, she just said pepper. And 1/2 teaspoon of salt, light salt for me. And that is the filling. That's it. Very, very simple. So I'm gonna mix this up. It says you just, let me see, what's she say here? Combine all the ingredients, mix well. Okay, I can handle that. It really does smell like the start of a chicken salad. Interesting. All right. I think I've mixed it pretty well. So that's what it looks like when you mix it. And I'm going to put it in the refrigerator. And then we're going to come and do the dough. I'll be right back. All right, Baker on the dark side, we're back. I've put our chicken spiral loaf filling in the refrigerator. And now we're working on the dough. This is a very simple dough. It says 1½ cups of all-purpose flour. So that is in my food processor. In the recipe, it says to do it in a bowl, but you know me. I'm all about making it simple. So that's going in there. Then I've got my 1/2 cup of cornmeal going in. Very interesting. And then we have 1 teaspoon of salt, so light salt for me, and 1 teaspoon of baking powder for the leavening. Okay, so we're gonna turn this on for a minute, get it mixed up. Okay, a couple quick pulses. There it is. And then we're going to put in, this is my Pampered Chef. I love these things. If I haven't told you before, I think I have. But these are great for solid shortenings and peanut butters and honeys and all kinds of sticky things that are much easier to get out with this. So it's 1/2 cup of shortening. So we're going to put that in. You still have to use your spatula to get it out. See, it proved me wrong. Okay, so there's that. We're gonna pulse this, get that in. I want to get those crumbs in there so that they're good and mixed all the way through. Let's see, according to the recipe, what does Mom say? She says, mix it until it is crumbly. You can hear that change. Okay, so that's looking very crumbly. Yeah, so very crumbly dough. And then the only thing that we have now is we have a half a cup of whole milk. Okay, that's gonna pull this together. According to her, you just pour it in until it comes together. Okay. Always do it slow. You never know, you don't want to make it too sticky. All right. That's definitely come together. Now, this is, just a little bit wet, and I still have some of this milk left, so I'm letting you know, you want to just do this slowly. You don't want to pour it all in because you don't know, based on science, as I always tell you, how much liquid you're going to need for a dough. All right, it looks really good. It's very plain. I like this. I don't know what else I would use this dough for. I mean, this would probably make a fantastic taco spiral. Yeah. Sorry, Mom. I think I would like this taco spiral better, but we're gonna do it Mom's way and make it this way. And maybe someday down the road I will enhance this to be Mexican. Now she says we're supposed to roll this in a 10 by 12 rectangle. Okay, as you all know, I love my trusty silicone mat for these kinds of things. Saves on the cleanup. It doesn't say anything about chilling this dough, so I'm not chilling it. Okay, I can chill it later if I need to. All right, so light flour, and then we're going to do the assembly. I'll be right back. Okay, Baker on the Dark Side, we're back again. We're doing the chicken spiral loaf. The dough is here now, and we are going to try to assemble this. According to the directions of my mother, you have to roll this into a 10 by 12 rectangle. So I have this soap hat. It says, that gives me the 10 and the 12. I'm going to assume that 12 is the length of this. And I've never made this before. This is my disclaimer. I have no idea if this is going to work. I don't remember this recipe. I haven't figured out if this recipe is for dinner or if it's an appetizer. I haven't figured that out yet. I mean, it seems kind of small, for dinner, but if you have a small family, I guess it would work. I mean, it seems to be rolling okay. It's a little crumbly, I'm not gonna lie. So that's the 12. I'm at the 12 mark now on this side. And then let's get to the 10 mark. Once I get what the dimensions are, it'll make it easier to figure out the rectangle. Now, I always tell people you can roll it a little bigger, just a little bigger, so that you can just cut it into a perfect rectangle. All right, because my rolling skills, I wish were better. I know some people that could just roll this with no problem, like, heartbeat. All right, I had a few cracks here. All right, so now what I want to do is, I want to cut this, because it does bother me that the edges aren't good. So, I'm going to cut this. This is my 10 mark. Okay. This is, I'm going to cut that like that. Okay. And then here's my 12 mark. Look at that, it's like I'm a pro. And then just sharpen these edges right here. I've got my perfected rectangle. Okay, now I want to get these scraps out of here. Excuse me for a minute. I'm doing a little cleanup. All right, now save those for later. All right, she says that you're going to take this filling and you are going to spoon it onto the dough evenly. Okay, I'm gonna spoon it onto the dough evenly. I can't imagine what this is gonna taste like. Like, I just can't wrap my mind around this recipe. It's a little strange. I don't know. Has anybody ever made anything like this? I certainly would love to hear your comments. Has anybody ever heard of this before? I can honestly say, I mean, I know a lot about food, and I have not heard of this recipe. I don't know if this is like, you know those Jell-O recipes that you hear that were from like the 1920s or 30s or whenever the heck Jell-O was made, and you're like, you know, meat Jell-O. I feel like this is like one of those old-time recipes. This is a lot of filling. At first I thought it was going to not be enough filling. Like when I first started, I was like, this isn't going to be enough filling. But now that I see how small the dough is, all right. I'm going to try to get this as evenly as possible. Does she say anything else about spreading it evenly and then roll it? Okay, roll it like a spiral, like a jelly roll. All right, so we're going to do that. I think this is about as even as it gets. I kind of want to leave a little space on the edges so that I can seal it. I mean, normally I would put some kind of egg wash around the sides so that they would seal. Doesn't say to do that. Gonna do it like Mom. Okay, if Mom ever did it. I'm still questioning whether Mom ever did it. All right, so we're gonna roll it like a jelly roll. This is such a, you know, very fragile, I would say a fragile dough. This is kind of fragile. I'm gonna use the mat to help me roll this up. If you don't have a mat, you could use a piece of parchment paper or wax paper in place of this mat that I'm using. That will keep it so it doesn't stick. Okay, all right, so far so good. I'm going very slow because this has got a lot of filling and I really don't want this dough to break on me. Like I said, it's very fragile. I almost think you should have, like, maybe you should chill it, but if you chill it, maybe it falls apart. All right, I'm feeling good. When you're at the halfway mark, you know you're good. It only goes uphill from here. Or downhill? I don't know. All right, I rolled this baby. Do you remember that Pillsbury dough that was like this? Like you can make cornbread sticks? It kind of reminds me of that. All right, my filling is popping out. I think it's a lot of filling. But I guess if you were eating it for dinner, maybe not so much. All right, the same goes on the bottom, like typical jelly rolls. And then she says, seal it. Okay, so I'm gonna just push the ends in and seal it. And it did that fairly well. I got some more filling that came out. Okay, I'm gonna try to seal it. All right, I have sealed it somewhat. I think if you wanted to be sure, you could take just a couple extra of these little pieces that you had left over and stick them on the end just to be on the safe side. I mean, you got them. Why not? Right? And, you know, the dough seems pretty pliable that you could easily add these to the end just to make sure. Okay. And if you wanted to, you know, you could put a little pretty decoration on the outside too if you want. If you see a little crack, You can always fill that in with this dough. It seems like it's very pliable. Okay, there it is. You move it to your lightly greased baking sheet. Okay. There it is. Ta-da! And let's see, is there anything else you're supposed to do? It says seam underneath, which I did, and bake at 425 for 20 to 25 minutes. Wow, that's high. Okay, well, we'll see what it looks like when I get done. All right, everyone, I'm back with the chicken spiral loaf that has baked. And it looks really good. Smells good. It stuck together pretty well. I let it cool for about 5 minutes, you know, so I wouldn't burn myself. All right, so we're gonna cut this baby and see what it's like. It didn't say how many servings on the card. I'm using a serrated knife to cut it. Trying to be gentle. Trying to be gentle. And then, so I don't know how thick it's supposed to be. So it is a very fragile dough. You got to be careful with it. You got to cut lightly while it's warm. I baked it for the 425 for 20 minutes. I hope it's done. So that's what it looks like. Can you see that? It's pretty filled out. All right, let's see. It really does look like a chicken salad loaf. All right, it's brown on the bottom. See that? Okay. Let's see what it tastes like. I mean, it doesn't say what to serve it with. It doesn't say if it's an appetizer. It is very crumbly. It tastes pretty good. It really does taste like a chicken salad. Wrapped in a cornbread biscuit. See, it's like, this isn't like my favorite, like, it's fallen apart. Can you see that? Like the celery. It's a lot of celery. I think I would maybe bake it a little longer. Maybe at a lower temperature, a little lower temperature. Because I think the middle is just under, just a tad. The outside's good though. I think it needs something to, bind it together. The taste is good. It's just bland. It's not my fave. I really like the dough. And I think that dough would be really good with like a taco filling. Like if you did like a taco and cheese, I think that would be really good. Or if you had something to bind this together, because it just feels like it's just not bound together very well. But try it. I will say this, that, you know, the dough is really good. And I think if you wanted to do something with a cornmeal crust, this would definitely be it. Yeah, so Mom, I've tried it. It's okay. Thanks for watching Baker on the Dark Side and watching me try to get through these family recipes. And subscribe. Have some fun with me.